ownership is at the lowest level since housing segregation was legal. Federal statistics show the rate of home ownership for whites is 70%. In the black community, it's only 50%. One realtor says to level the playing field, you need to get your finances in order years in advance and live within your means if you're buying for the first time.
When you own, you are building equity, and that is a form of wealth. One thing we've learned is that one reason black wealth is less than white wealth is because so many of us are not homeowners.
So remember that your first home does not have to be your last home. We have more resources for you right now on 11alive.com.
Shout out to 11 Alive for bringing this up. When I bring it up, people try to act like I'm out of my mind, I'm crazy, pick me, mammy, ugly, transgender, small penis, white supremacist, and all the other foolishness that people want to come up and say, which makes absolutely no sense at all, because if anyone ever took the opportunity and the time to listen, then they would understand and learn that these things that are being pointed out don't make sense. There is no reason on God's green earth that black home ownership should be at a 50-year low. There is no reason on God's green earth that black home ownership should be at a 50-year low. Miss me with the white supremacy, discrimination, racism, redlining, and all those things. The key takeaway from here is the fact that people need to save. They need to budget. They can't spend every dime that they bring into the home. Good things come to those who wait. Financial literacy is lacking, as I continue to say. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to do anything about it. In the black community, money is held for less than, I think, like 8 hours or some crazy statistic like that off the top of my head. Why is that? Because we too busy out here flashing for people that don't give one crap at the end of the day. And when you flash, there's too many people out here that's going to come take it from you. So when we have these stories about these evictions and these people that have lived here for 10, 20, 30 plus years, and then someone turns around and says it's not fair, you have been renting basically at the same amount for all those years. You have paid somebody else's mortgage. You have built nothing. Miss me with that everyone is not supposed to own. I do agree with that, but that is a minimal amount. You can't take the small amount and apply it to the greater amount. The greater amount of persons need to be homeowners. They need to get into the game. They need to understand finance, credit, checking, savings, wealth building, assets, liabilities. But you say those things and everyone wants to act like that's just crazy talk. That's just crazy talk. Oh, look at the way I grew up. It's not fair the way I grew up. I call cap. I'll call BS. No, there's no excuse in 2023 that we are now at a 50-year low. It ain't got nothing to do with redlining. It has to do with the fact that we don't want to do anything that makes that you have to work for. Anything that's some hard work, anything that's some effort, we don't want to do it. It's easier to just stay over there and really it isn't at the end of the day, but it doesn't require anything to go put your name on a list for Section 8 and wait for 15 years in order to get into a place. And then when they say it's time for you to go, then you're mad. You rent for 22 years, then they said it's time to move on, then you're mad. You sit up here and you pay $500 for 30 years, they want to raise the rent by $200, then you're mad. That does not make good God sense at the end of the day. There's too much opportunity. There are too many things that are here for minorities, specifically black people, for this to be the case. But instead of talking and learning from someone that's not your mama, that's not your auntie, or that's not your friend from next door since the 6th grade, you would rather listen to people who don't have anything, ain't trying to get anything, ain't trying to encourage you to get anything, and then you stay in the same place and want to blame someone else for that when it's your responsibility from the gate. So shout out to 11 Alive for bringing this up. I'm going to take a look. Oh, it's only 2 comments. The first comment says, so the 2.5 years of funneling insane amounts of policy, resources, and money into black community has lowered test scores, increased crime, and decreased home ownership. You guys got a bad deal. I might jump ship after all that. I'm pretty sure they're referencing Democrats. Next one said, let's have another subprime lending disaster to improve their feelsies. So in other words, they're clowning the community to say that you can't handle anything even when it's handed to you. You won't even take the opportunities that are presented to you. There's all kinds of options and opportunities for all Black persons. If they got to put in some effort, then you got to put in some effort. If you got to hold off on another TV, then you got to hold off on another TV. If it's more important for you to give Gucci, Fucci, Lucci, and Poochie instead of being a homeowner, which will build wealth, if you ain't interested in getting life insurance so you can leave something to your daggone kids so they don't have to do GoFundMe me up and depend on the rest of the public in order to bury you. If you want to sit around here and continue to have kids by ain't shit ninjas and then turn around and say you don't understand why things are so hard and they not giving you no money. These are the things that are being chosen in the community that people don't want to discuss, they don't want to talk about, they don't want to see, they don't want to acknowledge, but then they want to turn around and say that I'm the problem because I want to bring these things to light to say it looks half damn crazy. And the fact that so many people come through and say, why, you're so negative, it's not right, all you do is beat up on Black women, Black women, Black women, Black women, Black women, Black women. No. I'm trying to point out the fact that what we're doing don't make sense. And if you thought it made sense and you thought it was okay for all the stories that are out there, then you wouldn't be bothered by it and it wouldn't be an issue. You know daggone well that these stories don't make good God sense. You know this stuff don't make good God sense and that it needs to stop. But instead of trying to make sure that we make a difference in a way where we can make a difference for ourselves, each and every one of us, we would rather be out here lying about I got a business and don't have nothing, not a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of. And then when someone comes through and say, oh no, it's time for you to leave now you crying racism. Not even being thankful for the benefit that you have been given, or you turn around talking about this place is crap, but I want to stay, don't make me move. It doesn't make sense. Talking out of both sides of your mouth because there's no plan for the future. There's no plan for if something goes wrong. There's no plan at all except for you good where you at. That's laziness. There's too much laziness in the community. And ain't no way that no community is going to be saved if you don't own anything. That would be for men and women. Too many people that don't own anything, but claim to know everything. And they have the audacity and the nerve to talk about what somebody else is doing because they ain't doing it their way. What way are you doing? I want to know all these people that got smoked. What way are you doing? Who are you trying to point out, or who are you trying to help to point out to the fact that you want to build wealth? The fastest way to do that, not only first is to have a decent job, but is to be a home damn owner. And there's so much money out there, it's not even funny. But again, it's easier just to whine and complain and blame white people and white supremacy, discrimination, and racism instead of looking in the daggone mirror and acknowledging the fact that you're not willing to put in any effort or any work. There's no excuse for this at all. This is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace, especially given the current housing crisis, quote unquote, that's going on. And then everyone wants empathy and sympathy and you want to blame it on the landlord. No, you don't rent for 20 and 30 years and then turn around and say it's not fair. You got your benefit as long as you was paying the rent. That's it. That's all. You don't want someone to control you, then take control of your own daggone life. I know you want to hear it nicely. You want to hear it nicely. Would that make it better? You need to take control of your own life. You know, take birth control so you don't have children. So you don't have a bunch of children. Don't want to have children out of wedlock. It costs a lot of money. It's not easy raising children alone. That brings on poverty. And then you don't own your home. God forbid if something happens to you, who's going to be there to help you with the kids? These are things that you should think about as a parent. Don't have your kids out here at 2 and 3 a.m. doing whatever they want. Just some suggestions. That's as nice as I can do it. As an FYI, financial literacy is available because if you don't want to go look for it yourself, you can always pay for it. So Patreon is open for anyone that's interested in financial literacy, and you can ask questions there. Any question that you have, I'm happy to help. I'm only happy to help those that are happy to help themselves. God helps those who help themselves, and so do I. That's it. That's all. If you made it this far, I do appreciate you. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications. I will see you all in the next one.